lack of space, well, sitting space, well, table space at this airport is quite evident. It is evidenced by the fact that I'm having to eat my lunch here. I had another hot dog, but I already ate it, so. Alright. Well, we made it back. We made it home. So, right now we're at an undisclosed location here in Florida. Yeah, I don't know why I just said that. So I'm sure you guys are kind of wondering what's going on right now. So let me kind of give you a backstory as to how things played out to begin with. So we're going to go back to my college days, because this whole thing kind of transpired since then. So, not to bore you with all the details, but I had tried going to school for aerospace engineering. For those of you who have been around the channel long enough, and we're talking way the hell back in, like, what, 2010-ish. So we're talking way the hell back then. I was going to school for aerospace engineering. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out too well, so then I went to school for aviation maintenance instead for 2 years. Did that, got the airframe and power plant licenses to do that, couldn't find a job. And then I went to school for flight dispatch, which is a 6-week program. Got the license for that, still couldn't get a job. So then around 2014, for reference, the completion of my aviation maintenance program was in 2012. The classes ended in 2012, but I didn't get the licenses till sometime at the start of 2013. Well, beginning and middle of 2013. So my dad got fed up with me not having a job for over a year in 2014 and told me I had to do something, so I went to truck driving school and then got my CDL and started driving a truck. So that was in April of 2014 when I started driving a truck. And for those of you who have been around the channel long enough, you guys have obviously seen the videos of, you know, my trips out on the road when I was out in the truck. And eventually I stopped doing the truck driving videos for a couple reasons. I know those of you who are around long enough think that the company has something to do with it, and that was part of it, because at the end of 2015 there were 2 of us in the company that did truck driving videos, myself and Johnny Be Good, and we had both been asked to stop because the company was getting complaints from customers, which I get that. He had actually tried to talk to the higher ups to see if there was any way he could continue doing his videos, and he didn't get a response in a time that he would have liked, so he ended up leaving the company. So he works for a different trucking company now. A few months later, I had asked the higher ups what the story was with that, because I knew, or I'd found out that John had asked. I was told that as long as I wasn't shooting videos on the customer's property, that was fine. So I had started doing a few videos again. But my main reason for stopping was that with me getting busier with the job, it was starting to get too time consuming, and I just didn't quite have the time to really spend to put the videos together. And then on top of that, a lot of the runs I was doing for the most part were pretty much the same thing over and over again. So it eventually got to the point where I just simply lost interest in doing it. So that was the main reason I stopped. There were probably a few times where if I did something I hadn't done before, such as going out to California, which happened a couple times, then I do a few videos. But for the most part, I really didn't do too many because I feel like everyone would have gotten bored seeing the same thing over and over again, and I just didn't have enough time and lost interest in doing it. So, why am I leaving? So, I've been with the company for almost 8.5 years. In fact, I've had my CDL for almost 8.5 years. And I've been with the same company since I got my CDL. Around the time that the pandemic hit back in 2020, the government had allowed the truck drivers to work under the emergency exemption, and our company was primarily hauling food, so we were able to take advantage of that. But the end result was, with me doing that, I was basically, making quite a bit of money doing it, but also running myself into the ground in the process, and it's just, a lot has changed since the pandemic. The trucking industry has changed, the government's changing regulations to try to get more control over the drivers, the company's changed for various reasons, the general public has changed, and it's only getting worse. In fact, at the start of the pandemic, everyone, the general public, they were going on about, oh, we need the trucks, we appreciate everything the trucks do. Yeah, I called bullshit on that. I had talked to several other people, truck drivers, that I talked to, which I don't talk to very many truck drivers, but there are a few that I do talk to still. And I had told them, yeah, that's bullshit. I told them in 6 months' time, everyone's just going to completely forget about this. And they're gonna go back to thinking truck drivers are assholes. And I was right. So, people are constantly being idiots around trucks, and let me tell you, if I had $1 for every time someone did something stupid around my truck, I'd have enough money to buy a brand new 4Runner. Or 6. It's gotten that bad. In fact, it's happened a couple times where I've nearly gotten killed on the job, and so with everything that's been going on, my stress levels have just been getting higher and higher, and I just can't do it anymore. If I keep doing this, I'm just going to wind up killing myself trying to do this job, and yeah. So that's primarily why I've decided to give up truck driving altogether. So, never going to drive a truck ever again. That's how I plan on it anyway. So, what am I going to do now? No idea. Quite frankly, at this point, I've just been running myself so much into the ground, and my health has deteriorated to the point where I, right now, don't know that I would really be capable of really working and being able to do it effectively. So right now I'm just gonna take some time off and just, I don't know, do whatever, I guess. Maybe fly. So for those of you who have stuck around to the channel long enough, I do appreciate you guys sticking around. I know there's been so much going on, and I know I haven't really had much time to post much videos. I do also do live streams on Twitch, and yeah, so probably gonna try to get back into that. Maybe I'll find a part-time job at some point. Maybe another job when I feel ready for it. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Right now I just don't even want to think about work, because I'm just, my level of stress is so high to the point where you could just look at me and tell, because I've gotten so stressed out to the point where I'm looking like this. I haven't even shaved. In fact, the last few videos I've put up were from the trip back in May. I haven't even shaved since then, so yeah, I know I look like trash, but it's just way too much stuff going on, and I just can't do it anymore. So that's pretty much what's been going on as far as why I'm leaving. It's been an interesting 8.5 years, but the time has come. Can't do it anymore. So hopefully that answers any questions that anybody has. And if I missed something, let me know in the comments somewhere. But we'll see what happens, I guess. So thanks for sticking around, and we hope to see you again soon. Good night.